Hello, it's Jeanette with Geomazing Paper Crafts. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm back at last with another video tutorial. I know it's been a while, but for various reasons I haven't been making videos. But today I wanted to come in and show you this really cute idea I have and share it with you. And this is making a little gift box of gift card cards. But I'll show you what I mean. I know that sounds kind of confusing. But what this is this is the box from the Love You Always collection. It's Love You Always treat boxes. Okay, and they come like this. And I put the box together and decorated it. But inside the box, and I'll show you all the measurements and everything, but inside the box, what I have is some cards that I made. Look at how pretty these cards are. These cards I made with some designer series paper that I got free during celebrations. Such a pretty designer series paper called Strawberry or Berries. Oh, I'll put it on the screen because I can't remember. But anyway, I also made, I sized them to fit the box plus the envelopes too. So what you can do with these little cards, they can be thank you cards, but they can also be little gift card cards. So what I mean by gift cards is you can put a actual gift card inside the card, and that's how it will fit, and then put this inside the envelope like that. And the envelope has this tear and tape so that they can, when they get ready, they can seal the envelope up. And this can be put inside another card or inside a gift or something. But these boxes, they hold so much candy, and you can put candles. And I made a gift for my granddaughter who's having a baby any day now, and I put a little pair of socks in there. You can put a little bib, maybe even a small onesie would fit in there, and a little card. So this sentiment is actually from the, let's see what we have, Sweet Strawberry. I put this just for you, and I think I'm going to continue using this sentiment for the card that I'm making. But I'm going to make it different. I'm going to be using the product medley from the mini catalog. It's called the Flowering Cactus Product Medley. You get a whole bunch of supplies to make all kinds of cards and any kind of project. And what I'm going to be making is one of these, and I'm going to show you and give you the measurements for decorating the box, and also for making the actual card and the envelope too. So let's start with the box, because the box is really easy to put together. Now I've already scored all my lines, but one thing you need to remember is when you go and you're folding your lines, your score lines, always fold this flap in the opposite direction. You want to make sure that's folded up. And so once you've got all of your score lines scored and burnished really good, then what you're going to do is you're going to take the sides and pull them up like that. Make sure your tabs are even, and you're going to pull up the sides and tuck that in, and then tuck that in. Okay, and get that in really good. And what's going to lock this in are these other two flaps. You want to do the short one first. Make sure that's in like that. Okay, and then the long one, which is going to hide everything underneath. And so now it looks like a nice smooth box, and no glue necessary. And then of course you have this sleeve that goes over the box. It's already put together for you, and you just take it and burnish it, and of course it will go like that. Okay, so let's decorate the box first. What I did was I used some Mossy Meadow, and I used some card. This has the really pretty Calypso coral on the back of it, but I'm using the other side because I want it to look a little bit plain, because I want the decoration to kind of pop. So like I said, this designer series paper is beautiful, and it has one card in here that is so cool. I mean, one sheet in here. They give you eight of this design. Let me just show it to you if I can find it here. Here it is, right here. Look at that. And with this product medley, you get the stamp sets where you can stamp what's on this sheet here too, but the dies will cut everything that's on the sheet here. That is so cool. So that's what I did. I took a couple of sheets and cut it out with all the dies. It was a little time consuming, but it's okay. I had a really nice time doing it. It's kind of relaxing if you ask me. I kind of like to do stuff like that. It sure beats fussy cutting, which I do not like to do. But beautiful designs, and I'm using quite a few of them in this demonstration. So let me give you the measurements of the top layer of the card. This is going to go right here on top of the card. The Designer Series paper measures 3 5/8 by 2 1/4, and the layer that goes underneath it, which is the Mossy Meadow layer, is 3 7/8 by 2 1/2. And what you're going to do is you're just going to put some liquid glue, or you could even use your seal adhesive. Just put that together and put it on the box. But before you do that, what you want to do is you want to take a punch or a die, depending on what kind of label you want, on the outside. And I want this scallop label here. Now this comes from the Oval Occasions bundle. This is the I have the name on the screen, but it's the double oval punch, and I'm just going to cut out the scallop here. Now when I do that, I want to make sure that none of the green is showing on the oval without the scallops, because I don't want that little dent there. See? I just wanted it to stay straight. And I've got this so that I can put a decoration on the outside with also something that I'm going to stamp on the outside. Okay? Pretty much that's self-explanatory. So then you would glue this together or tape it together, adhere this together, and then you'll adhere it on the box. Now I already started doing that. Okay, I've already got this part done, and the side pieces, because I'm only going to put pieces on the side pieces measure the Mossy Meadow layer, the cardstock layer, is 3 7/8 by 1 1/4, and the Designer Series paper measures 3 5/8 by 1 inch. And we're just going to go ahead and adhere this down, and I'm just going to, I don't know what that is, but piece of fuzz on me. I'm just going to put some Tombow Mono liquid adhesive, multi-purpose liquid adhesive, and I really should have my silicone craft sheet here, and I'm just going to layer it right on the side here like that. So what are we going to put on top? Well, we're going to put this layer. We're going to also do some embellishments, and we're going to stamp a sentiment. Now the sentiment I think I'm going to continue using is the Just For You, like I have it here. But since I had to do so many of them, I set up a little template for me on my Stamparatus. Okay, so this is my Stamparatus here, and what I did was I punched out, I stamped my Just For You, and that's already on here. I've got it already on here, the Just For You from that stamp set I just mentioned. And then I punched it out, and then I laid it here. Before I did that, I put the card in, I stamped it, I punched it out, put the card back in, and now every time I go to stamp something, I just lay this back in, and we're going to be using some Mossy Meadow. We're going to be using some Mossy Meadow ink. Okay. And I'm just going to lay my magnet on this side of it, because I only want to stamp on the one side, because I'm going to be layering some decorations on the other side of this little oval here. Okay, and so there it is. Oops. And now I can glue this to the back of that. Okay, but I want to do one more, so let me take some let me do some punching. Hold on just a second. I thought I had a strip here. we're going to have to just make a strip. I'm going to make a strip that's like 1¼ inches. Let me bring out my Stampin' Trimmer. Okay, and I'm going to trim from this side here. You don't really need a whole, 1¼ but I'm going to do like maybe 1⅛ inch here. Put this away. And I'm going to take the punch, because the oval is on the bottom side. I just want to do the oval and just punch the oval without punching that scalloped oval, like that. There we go. And so now I'm going to put this back in here like this. I'm going to make sure I'm on camera. I'm going to ink this up with my Mossy Meadow. I'm using one of the Stampin' Ink spots where I filled this up with the Mossy Meadow re-inker. Okay, and you can use your big pad, but I like using the smaller pads when I'm doing the Stamparatus, because I don't get ink all over the place like I do when I'm using the big pad. So, all right, and there we go. Now I'm doing this again because I'm going to use this tag on the card that I make. Okay, so let's put this away, and we're going to put the punch away. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this. Oh, let's glue this one onto here. Let's bring in our silicone craft sheet so we don't get glue all over the page here. Going to glue this right in the center here, like so. Make sure you have it centered. That. Okay. Let that dry just a little bit. And when it does, I'm going to be using some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this. And I am going to place this right in the center here. Okay. I'm eyeballing it. Okay. And then I'm going to embellish it. Let's put this back on there. And the embellishments that I have, after I cut them out, I have a few left over here. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to use. I guess I could use that right there. I have some flowers that I can use. I also have, use a little purple flower here. Okay. Maybe like that. Maybe I could even use some of the twine that they give you. Let's see. I think maybe I'll use some of this Calypso coral twine. I'm just going to double it up here and just make a little bow. There we go. Okay. And now I'm just going to shorten the loops a little bit. I'm going to cut this off here. These little scissors here, there's a little story behind it. After my mom passed away, I had some boxes of hers, and I was looking through them, and they were in here, and these were her thread cutting scissors when she sewed. So I said, hey, mine. I didn't even tell my sisters that I took it. Isn't that terrible? But here's the thing, none of my sisters sew. One of my sisters does, but she doesn't sew a lot, and I sew a lot. I've been sewing a lot lately. So let me get a glue dot here. I've been sewing a lot lately. I've been joining in with my community and making masks for the masses. I'm just going to curl that glue dot a little bit so it doesn't look so fat. Okay. And we're going to set it right there. Okay. Now I haven't put this on yet with the dimensionals. You have that there. Let's put this on right here. I forgot to take the glue off of the dimensionals. I think what I'm going to do before that, see, I'm just winging it here. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this. I'm going to put this right behind it like that. It's a little decoration. I'm going to put the Just For You kind of over it like that. Okay. Then I'm going to put my flowers on there. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here. Oops. Sorry if I was out of camera here. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there. Okay. And a little glue right here with this little purple flower. Put that right on top of this one here. Get all those really pretty colors to tie in like that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I've already made a few cards. I'll make the card and envelope next. But the cards that I made, this is what they look like. Aren't they pretty? With all of these embellishments that I just die cut. I didn't have to stamp anything, although I did stamp the little cactus that are sticking out here. I didn't pretty much just die cut everything. And I've made all these little cute envelopes to go with it. So I'm going to make the envelope first, and then we'll make the card. Card is very simple, so let's start with something that's that might be a little more difficult. The envelope, I'm just using some white copy paper. I have kind of a heavier duty heavy duty copy paper. It's a 32 weight. It's a little bit heavier. But you can just use regular, copy paper. But the measurements for the envelope are 6 inches by 4 7/8. So I'm going to bring out my Simply Scored scoring tool. Make sure that that's in the camera. And I am going to score. Let me get out my, this is my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to score it 1/2 inch. But on this side here, it turns out to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 3/8. Okay. So if I were to turn it this way, it's a little bit easier. Instead of trying to squeeze my hand in there at the 1/2 inch, I just do it 4 3/8 here. Okay. But anyway, it's 1/2 inch on both sides on the short side of the paper. But on the long side, what you want to do is you want to score it at 1 inch, and then you'll score it again at the 3 5/8 inch mark right there. Okay, so this is what you're left with here with those score marks here. Let me put that away. I'm going to put this away here, and now I'm going to be trimming. Now what I want to trim is this little flap here. That's going to be the top flap that folds over, but I'm just going to give it a tiny little wedge like this, and I'm going to give this a little wedge too, like that. Okay, let's do the same on this side. Now what I'm doing is I'm basically cutting where the two score lines intersect. I'm making sure that I'm cutting that part off. You can see that. Okay, and on the bottom here, I'm going to cut straight up, but I'm going to make sure that I cut that score line completely off. Now, if you have bigger scissors that you feel a bit more comfortable with using, see, I'm actually cutting the score line off. Use the bigger scissors because it kind of makes your job a little bit easier. But I'm just using my paper snips right now. I'm okay with paper snips for now. Stampin' Up! Used to carry a wonderful pair of shears that they stopped carrying, and they are still some of my favorites, especially to cut ribbon. Okay, and so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to round the edges. Now, I noticed that when I try to round it with the triple detail punch, I think it's called the detailed trio punch. Sorry, I didn't have it. This is a great punch, but for punching out cardstock. it doesn't do paper really well. Unless you're doing several layers of paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my crocodile, and I'm going to go in with the 1/2 inch right here. Let's see, do I have it on this side here? And I'm just going to go ahead and round the corners of this. You don't have to round the corners if you don't want to. It's perfectly fine to leave them straight, but I think it looks a little bit nicer when you round the corners. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and fold and burnish my score lines on the envelope. Get my bone folder out. I'm folding this top part, and then I'm going to fold this bottom part in first, which is the, I guess you would say, the back of the envelope right here. And then I'm going to fold these flaps over. Now, I'm not going to adhere them this way. I just want to make sure that when I put the flaps and I tuck them in, that this bigger flap doesn't overlap the smaller flaps that I'm tucking in. See, there's a little tiny bit of space right here. So let's bring out our silicone craft sheet again. And I think what I'm going to do is just go use some tear and tape. It's just kind of easier for me to use tear and tape. And you can use snail adhesive too. That's easy too. I am still struggling a little bit with my snail adhesive. I'm struggling a little bit with it. It's not snail, it's called seal. And I'm still working on getting good at using it. And I'm also going to put a strip here, but I'm not going to take the strip off. That's for when they get ready to seal the envelope. They can take this backer paper off, and oops, this way. Okay. When they get ready to mail it. So, or mail it or use it. Okay, so now I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to, oops, not that side, this side here. I'm going to pick off like that, and I'm going to fold like that, and now I have my envelope. There we go. Oops, I got some goobers on there. Okay, make sure that that's off. Now let's make the card. Finally, we're down to making the card. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this is the pattern that I'm going to be using. I'm going to do the same thing. Got my little embellishments over here too. I'm going to punch it. So let me bring back that punch. I wasn't done with it yet. And we are going to just make sure that there's no purple paper showing. This is Highland Heather, by the way. Cardstock. Okay, I got that. And this is the pattern that I'm going to use. See, nobody's going to know that you punched that piece out. And then that's going to layer on top like that. So let's go ahead and stick this down. And you're going to have like a 1/16 of an inch showing. The measurements, let me give you the measurements of the cardstock and the designer series paper for the card. The card base measures 4 3/4 by 3 5/8. I have scored it in half at 2 3/8. Okay, that's that. The first layer, or the cardstock layer, measures 3 1/2 by 2 1/4, and that's what I'm going to be putting here. And now the designer series paper measures 3 3/8 by 2 1/8. Okay, so let's just go ahead and glue this down, and then we'll finish decorating. Okay, come on. You might have to use your bone folder to fold this, to make sure that this stays folded nice and neatly here. Let's do that. Okay. There it is like that. Okay, now I am going to go ahead and use this little label here that says just for you. I'm going to glue it down to my scallop oval right here. I'm just getting glue all over me. Okay. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this. 2 should do it. Take my dimensional tape off this time. The backer paper rather, not the tape. And we're going to take some tweezers and I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm eyeballing the center. I'm not that great at eyeballing, but that's the way I'm doing it here. Okay, and now I'm going to take this. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here on the corner of this oval, and then I'm going to tape this down like that. Okay, and I'm going to take this tiny little flower that I die cut from that DSP and put a little glue down here. Where's my tweezers? And I'm going to put that right here. And then I'm going to take some glue and I'm going to tuck this under here. That's the other cactus. Now the way I made this cactus is I used the opposite side of this paper. See, I die cut most of them. The big ones I kind of only did 3 of them, and the rest of them I actually stamped with Pear Pizzazz. This little design, this one here from the Flowering Cactus stamp set, I stamped this little design in Pear Pizzazz, and then I die cut it with the die that goes with this little die. Where is that die? There it is, right there. That one. Okay, and so I can stick 2 if I want there. Maybe I will. Let me stick another one down. I think that would look kind of cute with 2 instead of just 1. Maybe 1 on this side here. There you go. Yeah, that's kind of cute. I like that. Okay, and there's the envelope. And now what I'm going to do with all of these is line them up with their envelopes. Okay, I'll let that dry just a little bit. I'll line all of these up with their envelopes. Okay. So I have them all lined up here with their envelopes. Okay. And now I just kind of want to grab some baker's twine. I grabbed the Sahara Sand baker's twine, and I'm going to place it like this on the back and then put them all in the box. Okay, and then I'm just going to tie a knot so that they all kind of stay put and stay together. Okay, I'm going to do a double knot so that I can make my bow. Okay, and then we'll do the bow. Okay, and now, whoops, this one here, getting everything all messed up here. Okay, we are just going to tuck that in, and there we have it. Alas, there is our little gift box of gift card envelopes, note cards. I don't know what to call this. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will try this new cactus or flowering cactus product medley, and that's on page 9 of the mini catalog. Okay, you can do a lot of cards with that and projects like this by adding a few more items. It's just a really, really great product medley. I think that you would enjoy working with it. And if you need any of the tools and supplies that I use in this video, please go to my website at www.geoamazingpapercrafts.stampinup.net, and I would be happy to be your demonstrator if you don't already have one. So here's hoping that I can make more videos in the future. And I am once again Jeanette with Geoamazing Paper Crafts, and you make it a great day. Bye bye.